Hey. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? Wow, it's bright in here. So, fix the lights. If you weren't here last week, small episode with the lights. I couldn't figure out what was going on with my bottom lights. My bottom lights ended up having a small issue, and it took me a long time to figure out. It ended up being a firewall rule. So if it's not DNS, it is a firewall rule. All right, changing the lights as soon as I mention them. If it's not DNS, it's a firewall rule. Now you're really testing my lights. All right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So, anyways, I discovered that. Took me a while after the stream. I started debugging, and I could like change the lights easily from outside of the container, and going against it directly. And then I went inside of the container. I execed into my Kubernetes pod and ran a curl command, and it timed out. I was like, it's 100% firewall rule. I go in and I look at my firewall rule, and it's disabled. Totally random, like the dark mode, and you don't get to see it that often. So, and if you weren't here the last stream or two, I added some more lights that you could choose from, more themes. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there's this thing on Twitch called channel points. You earn channel points just from being in the stream. You accumulate them, and then you can redeem them for certain things. I ended up writing some code so that you could redeem channel points and change the lights in here in the room. So I don't know. I enjoy writing code. I enjoy hosting stuff. So I put it all together, and I figured, why not? And plus, like, my lights are always like ridiculously colored in all of my videos. Some have said I'm an LED enthusiast. I would agree with that statement. But so anyways, I figured, why not? We'll just let people have fun and change them in here. So anyways, so happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? What are you guys working on? If this is your first time here, it's pretty relaxed here, for the most part. We talk about things we're working on. We talk about things we're struggling with. We talk about things we're excited about. If you have questions about, any video that I released, I'd love to answer that. Or if you just want to talk general tech, we do that too. So we all of the above, all the things, yes. So if you have something you're interested in, or you want to share something you're working on, something you're struggling with, something you're excited about, throw it in chat. Please throw it in chat, and let's talk about it. And I make my way through. I try to make my way through all of them. I will warn you that I have to stop on time today. Another thing, if you're new to the stream, I keep it short. I don't go on all day long. I run this like a meeting, pretty much like a meeting. So it's roughly an hour, so not too long. A lot of people involved to make this happen, and so I just and you guys, I don't want to take all day. So anyways, enough of that out of the way. Let me know what you're working on, and then I usually start with weather. Weather is fantastic. So I'm in the Midwest. We have fantastic weather right now. High of 52, low of 25. It's awesome. I love it. 52 degrees and sunny today. Almost all the snow is melted. Most of the sidewalks are dry, so dogs aren't covered in mud when we come back from walks. It's great. It's great. I know that I think northeast, you guys are getting some really bad weather, I think, today. Most of Midwest, pretty mild. Out west, I think it's pretty cold out west. So it's kind of, cold for you guys, perfect for us here in Minnesota. Perfect for us. I mean, I think it's like 50s and stuff out in the southwest, sorry. So good for us. Sorry about you, but you guys get good weather all the time. I mean, can the Southwest ever really complain about weather? Maybe they can. I'm sure they can. So anyways, but yeah, if you're northeast New England area, yeah, I saw some bad storms coming. I think last time I looked at the weather map. Anyways, all that aside, so what have you guys been working on? I'll tell you real quick what I've been working on. You probably saw from this morning. Hey, HomeLab New gifted a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Sweet Tech, enjoy your gifted sub from HomeLab New. I'm definitely going to go into our events list here in a second. That one just popped up, so I'll call it out. I'll get to them because there was quite a bit of activity right before I started. So thank you. But real quick, so what I've been working on is you probably saw it. If not, I've been trying to. I don't want to say I'm building a new platform, but a new way of building my platform. How about that? This morning I released something on Cloud Init, Cloud Image, and clones just to kind of prime some more stuff. The last couple things I've been doing is just priming for stuff that's coming later that I think's super cool and super interesting. But hey, Geeky Rant, dude, Geeky Rant, dude, thank you so much. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs, dude, thank you. So real quick, Bigsby, Phantom Way, Divad, Lord, Garden Gnome, and Lacerated Digits. Enjoy your gifted sub from Geeky Rant. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I've just been kind of like working towards something. I don't know. It's not going to be huge, or I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, so this past week I dove into something that I've been putting off for a long time was Cloud Init. Cloud Init is actually pretty awesome. Helps you do quite a bit of stuff. It helps you configure a virtual machine before you start it up for Linux. The nice part about it is that you can configure all kinds of settings. You can give it network settings. You can give it your SSH key so that when it stands up for the first time, it initializes. And then from there, you can remote into it and do whatever else you want. And by remoting into it, I mean that you could run Ansible against it. So I'm kind of staging some stuff that I want to do. The other thing that I didn't really knew how it fit in was cloud images. And I kind of stumbled. I mean, I've always known that cloud images were out there. Hey, dude, Salvarius. Man, you guys, thank you so much. Oh, man. Salvarius, 10 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you so much. You guys, this is too much. Too much. I feel like my dad. My dad always says that. Anytime we get him a gift, even if it's something that costs $1, he's like, oh, this is too much. Turn it into my dad. But really, too much. Dad, love you. But thank you so much. Captain Nuz, Tan Costin, Iberly, Deezy, Bit. Oh, by the way, I use Emacs, sorry. By the way, I use Emacs. I figured that out later on in the stream. By the way, I use Emacs. Zoid, Feels Backflip, Red Neck Tech, Mo Bonnie, Lickety Splitted. Enjoy gifted sub from Salvarius. Dude, thank you so much. 10 gifted subs. Randy with the 5. Oh, man, I can't even get to the events. Thank you guys so much. But what I was saying was I knew that cloud images exist, but you know, when I was doing some Harvester stuff, I really got to kind of dive in and see what they were all about. They're minimal images for cloud vendors, but they also work everywhere else. And they're super tiny, super fast, super minimal. And most Linux distributions have these cloud images that are lean and mean and boot fast, because that's all you want in the cloud. You don't want a ton of resources. You want it to start up fast, and you want it to have a low, small footprint. So I combined the two, and it's been working out awesome. Now every single machine that I provision is going to use a cloud image because it's tiny, and it's perfect. Because like, why do I have to have all these extra dependencies installed? It's the same thing I do with Docker images. I use a super tiny Docker image because I don't want to maintain all these dependencies or worry about vulnerabilities. Now I do the same thing with cloud image, so going to be layering some stuff on. So it's super cool. I don't even know what color the lights are supposed to be. It's been flashing for so long. It's so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Oh man, Crack Kitty, Resub Prime, 6 months, 4 month streak. Thank you so much. Yo, Techno Tim and the community are the best. I totally agree on the community part. Community part is something that I wasn't prepared for, nor did I ever think I would ever discover. Going into this, I thought it was just going to be me doing stuff, and it turns out it's no. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants from people in our Discord community all the time, whether it's ideas, helping me, feeding me new ideas, or just keeping me on my toes, or challenging me to do more challenging stuff. I love it. So thank you guys all from the community. I can't agree more. Dude, Zephyrs has subscribed. Prime sub. Thank you so much for spending your Prime on me. Man, this is a busy intro. Thank you guys. So anyways, let's talk about you, but let me get caught up on notifications, because I don't want those who did something earlier to feel left out too. So let's see. I'm starting with Wetseas that started shortly before the stream. Wetseas, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Squished Kitten, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Mafney, thank you so much. Tier 1, 17 month streak. Mafin, thank you so much. Early today, almost missed it. Thank you. That was 11 minutes ago. All right, thank you. I'm just going to call him out again just in case. Dixie Rex, resub, tier 1, 3 months, love the content. Fellow local SE, software engineer. Hey, me too. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Geeky Rand, again, thanks for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Salvarius, thanks for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. Vinyl Lore, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Crack Kitty, thanks again for the resub. And Zephyrs 83, thanks for the resub, or the sub, prime sub. Again, appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into it. A couple of things. First, I know who was first. I usually answer this question, who was first. Salvarius was here first. Thanks for being here. Salvarius was part of the wait in the channel for me to go live crew. I think that's crew 0. Then there's crew 1, Twitch notifications. Then there's crew 2, which is Discord. Then there's everyone else who just stumbles on my channel or just decides, hey, I'm going to check out this guy with the crazy lights in the background. But thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Dixie Wrecked, super D-duper excited. I like it. D-duper. I gotta add the D-duper to mine sometimes because I say super duper a lot. When super's not enough, you add a duper. But now, when super duper's not enough, you add a D-duper. I like it. D-duper sounds like something I do with code and when I'm deduping stuff in data. Salvarius, great video today, Tim. Thank you. Something I've been tinkering around with. Nice to have a guide. Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy to supply it to you. I learned a ton from it too. So most of the time you guys think you're getting something out of my guides. I get a ton out of my guides too, because it's usually something I want to explore but just haven't dedicated the time. And most of my content is like, I'm going to dedicate the time to figure this out and understand how it works. So yeah, I totally agree. And then as I was doing it, I mixed in cloud images. I was like, this is like the perfect combo. Why didn't I do this before? PC Geek, how's it going? Speaking of Northeast, man, stay safe, man. I think you guys are getting some bad weather. So hope you're doing well. Stupid Twitch didn't ping me nor Discord. Yeah, they were a little bit late today. They were a little bit late for sure. Emotes don't show up. But I saw it earlier. Lord Gardenum. And there it is. Okay, so notifications did go out. I noticed that they were a little bit delayed for sure. By the way, I used Emacs. I got it right this time. I remember last stream I was trying to figure it out and it was like iMac. And I was like, no, it's by the way, BT dub, by the way. Tease me with your topic. Topic is you, really. Topic is anything we're going to talk about. They go every which way. So I love it. Keeps me on my toes for sure. And I am standing literally on my toes. But then it also keeps my mind on my toes too. SV Richards, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see, PC Geek, going to try to rework my Debian 11 K3S cluster to Arch and see if that fixes my system freezes issue. Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit. PC Geek has a three virtual machines that were clustered with K3S, and one or more keep freezing over time. So that's a bummer. And you're on Debian 11 K3S, which I think is pretty well supported. Maybe you should use Ubuntu. No, I'm teasing. Not really, but we talked about this a little bit earlier. But yeah, check out Arch, see if it works. I know that I'd mentioned to you, and you probably had this idea too. I don't remember who said it first, but like, it'd be sweet to slowly migrate and drain one of those nodes, bring it back up on Arch, and then join it to your cluster, and then have join it to your Kubernetes cluster, and just do those one by one, so your cluster maintains throughout different nodes that they're running on. Sounds super fun. Phantom Way, hey Tim, how's it going? Salty German sausage. Hi Chad and Tim. Hey, how's it going? I don't know who Chad is, but how's it going? Hey Chad, how you doing? Salty German sausage, how's it going? Sometimes I wonder if sometimes I'm getting trolled by my friends, but anyway, Dixie Wrecked, Salvarius, totally agree on the video. Oh, thank you. It's it's an older topic. The funny thing is, when I was like researching this topic, some of the wiki posts and blog posts I was reading are like going back. I'm talking about like 5 years ago. I'm like, this has been around for a long time. How have I not, like, why didn't I start there in the beginning? And I know why I didn't start there, because I didn't even understand Proxmox when I started. But yeah, it's old topic, but super fun, and it's a little spring cleaning. I'm going to start doing a little spring cleaning on some of my nodes and spin them up with cloud images, because why not? Maybe automate it at the same time. Skookali, how's it going? Skookale, how's it going? Hola, helloa. Ooh, that's an aloha That's an aloha maybe, an hola and a hello all together. I like it. Aloha. Cheat 95 installed Zabbix VPS. Nice. I hear about Zabbix so much. I remember trying it very, I mean, years ago. Like Zabbix has been around for a long time. Looks awesome. I haven't used it enough, so you have to let me know how it goes for sure. Let's see. By the way, I use Emacs. Checking out the beta FreeBSD 13.1. Awesome. I don't know anything about the beta FreeBSD 13.1, but let me know. Like, what's new? What's new about it? I'm sure a lot. I'm sure security. I'm sure features. Because why else would you release a new version? So yeah, let me know how it goes. Let's see, Scoot Kale, still working on understanding traffic. Yeah, me too. Wondering if I can install it as a Kubernetes ingress, not ingress route, if it can use the external proxy services for my NAS. I think you can. Because at first I was running it as an ingress, but then I ended up going to ingress route. And I think traffic did some switching around too to ingress route between 1 dot something and 1 dot something else. I think they added support or better support for ingress route, and I ended up switching to it because I wanted it to be a little more declarative. And instead of like configuring my route every single time at the ingress and keep deploying that and deploying that and deploying that, I wanted it to be a little more declarative and define it at the ingress route level. So a lot lower down in the stack so that each one of my containers, I could define it individually. And at least that's my understanding of how it used to work, because I think on 1.6 I was using ingress route. I'm sorry, I was using ingress and not ingress route. And then I found ingress route and it was pretty new. And I was like, this is how I want to manage my routes, only because, I have a lot of containers and yeah, it was a little bit easier, instead of one giant config. But my memory, my recollection of how it used to work is kind of fading because I've been using it this way for so long. But I can dig something up if you need more clarification on that. I'm curious too why you wouldn't want to use ingress route, because I think that's what I mean, who knows what traffic is recommending now, but I remember it becoming available. And they're saying, we're doing this because people are asking for it, and that's the way it seems to be used, at least in my circle. So let me know if there's a specific reason for it. Tyrannox. Hi all, how's it going? Lord Gardner, working on homework. More learning about TrueNAS scale and finding parts of a waste of money epic build. Finding parts of a waste of money epic build. Oh man, so a lot of things going on in there. Dimitri Maximo off Galera. I think I got that right. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Working on homework it might be fun. More learning about TrueNAS scale sounds pretty fun. And then finding parts of a waste of money epic build. Not fun. Not fun. If you built an epic machine and you're finding parts where you wasted money, not fun. Not fun. But I'm super jealous anyways, because I kind of want an epic CPU as a workstation to replace the one that's running all of this. Haven't gotten there yet. I'm still deciding on what I'm building. If it's going to be Intel, if it's going to be AMD, I don't know. I have my 3090 in here, but the rest of it is, I don't want to say getting scrapped. It'll probably end up going on that workbench back there to do some other things, but I need to upgrade. I don't need to. I feel bad saying I need to because I have a highly capable machine, but it's 5-6 years old, and when you render video and write code and compile stuff, it just doesn't keep up like it used to. So anyways, lazy good for nothing. Feels amazing, man. I'm sure these are all emotes. Hola, how's it going? Geeky Ran, good to see you. Matt Minister. Oh, I need to adjust my glasses. Yo, how's it going? Let's see. Dixie wrecked. I got a server rack with so much stuff in it, but I have nothing spooled up yet. So excited to get my stuff running. Yeah, that's a good feeling. Hey, the hard part I think is racking. The other hard part is cable management, which you're going to start doing now. I wish I were better at cable management. I'm actually pretty okay at cable management in real data centers. When way back in the day, when I racked servers before, I volunteered to do it because The server admins at the time were like, sweet, this guy wants to rack servers. We don't like doing that. Let us know when it's up and we can remote into it. I was like, heck yeah, this is better than pulling paper out of a printer. At least for me at the time, I was like, I'll do it. I'll learn all about servers. Anyways, long story short, I'm a lot better at racking servers when you have, the arm for the cable guides, because then it actually works out pretty easy. But I learned so many times the hard way of packing those cables in there too tight, or not giving enough slack, and then you can't close the server. Or, I don't know. Maybe it's still like that, but those server arms, although expensive, were awesome for cable management. Let's see. Kiki ran. Tim having issues with his bottom. I'm not having issues with my bottom. I don't think I am. Although I did eat some Mexican last night. No, I'm kidding. No, my bottom is good. Oh gosh, salty German sausage. Started to use Ansible for almost everything. Awesome. Thanks, Tim, for the next rabbit hole. Hey, yeah, I use it. I want to say almost daily. My daily task is, I update all my machines using Ansible. When I provision new machines, then I, pass in a desired state. I have different roles for: are you virtual? Are you not virtual? And it's super fun. It's super fun. It's just nice. It's just nice. Do I like that it depends on SSH and having me be, having my local, environment set up to be able to do it? No. But there's things like AWX and stuff like that can help with that. But I really wish they had don't get me wrong. I like using a terminal, but I don't like being bound to the terminal only to do Ansible stuff, which I know AWX, I think Tower uses. So. Which I keep saying I'm gonna fully flesh out in a guide, but I haven't yet. So yeah, it's super fun. I love it. I like being able to send all these commands to machines, send a desired state, sit back and watch it. Part of automation is after you automate it, you get to watch it a few times and burn that time that you would have been doing all those commands individually otherwise, just to watch it. Lex Parson. Hey all, how's it going? Daddy. I got some. Hey, Xavius D, cheered 100 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, lights. All right, lights. Those lights on the bottom are such a pain to configure when they work. I'm like elated, and when they're not, I'm just so let down. But I don't have a better solution for making lights flash. I could with my Hue, but that wouldn't look as good as those because those are really bright. Let's see. Discord. Thank you so much. I think I just skipped over Dady. I got some amazing news for you. I bought a cheap Machinist X99 RS9 with the Xeon 2640 V3, and it does indeed support VT-D. So I've gotten a GPU, CPU pass-through working in Proxmox. All right, yeah, that sounds like a fantastic combo. New server, new machine, supports VT-D, so you can get. You can pass through individual devices. Then obviously, if you have VT-D, you have VT-X virtualization. So awesome. So passing through a GPU is one of the tough ones. Once you get that working, it's awesome. I totally agree. Hey, Crack Kitty. Thank you so much. Cheer, 200 bits. Dude, thank you so much. Crack Kitty, how's it going? I know you were joking around in Discord earlier about scheduling was off and you could make it to the stream to razz me a little bit, but I appreciate it. That's what you call razzing. Thank you, because you're always so nice and polite. Let's see. Grog Malblood. Heyo, first time catching the stream. Hey, thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I'm getting a little bit better at this. Hey, Xavius, cheered 101 bits. Thank you so much. I think you guys are going for the leaderboard. I think with that 01 on the end. He's going for number 1. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Tyrannox, Techno 10. I've been working on pulling all energy data into my Home Assistant installation. Awesome. That sounds awesome. Gas, solar panels, grid use, production to grid, energy usage, and percent of energy. Awesome. Just a full overview of my power and gas usage using direct feeds from the smart meters and solar power inverts. Trying not to use external APIs for this. That sounds fantastic. That sounds awesome. That's like next level Home Assistant stuff and next level Grafana stuff that I wish I could do. Maybe at some point I can. Curious though about the gas usage though. how you would measure that. I mean, maybe they have something to detect the gas flowing through a pipe. As long as you don't have to open anything up or put anything in between, that sounds pretty awesome. I'm sure it measures something somehow. Sounds awesome for sure. PC Geek, that's a cool color scheme. I don't know which one it was, but it was pretty crazy. It was probably the orange one. It's probably the Hawaii one. Like a meeting, very agile of you, Dixie Reg. Yeah, I guess like a meeting, or should I say like a stand-up? If we did it like a stand-up, it'd be real short. I'll tell you what I did yesterday, tell you what I did today. Anything blocking me, done. Actually, the blocking me part would probably be the most of this this stream, about all the things I need to do, but I haven't started yet because of all the other things I need to do. Home Avenue, hi Tim, how's it going? Home Avenue, how are you? Mathney, storming here. Yeah, I know there's definitely some storms out east. You're really far. I mean, you're beyond east of the U.S. But yeah, stay safe. Stay safe. Salvers, just have to point out, Tim's stream just started. Has more viewers currently than no. That's okay. No. I need to vet these. It's totally fine. Yeah, I really appreciate his channel and all the work that he's doing too. Grog Malblood, I can't get this one right. Hi Techno Tim, I'm working on my first PowerEdge server, 720 XD. I want to install Proxmox and virtualize TrueNAS scale on it, but I'm stumped on the best method for passing drives through. Yeah, so I've done it, I do it. There are two methods that I'm aware of, that I know about. One is if you have an HBA controller, you pass that whole entire HBA controller through in all drives, and you could do it that way. Or, there's three ways then, or with that same controller, you can pass individual drives through. And then if you plug them directly in, but I assume with the 720 you don't, you have probably a RAID, you have a RAID card. It needs to be flashed into IT mode, and then you could pass all drives through, or you can pass individual drives through. But at the end of the day, you know, ZFS in general, not just TrueNAS, but just ZFS needs direct access to those disks. So zero abstraction in between, zero hardware in between. That's not going to let them, have direct access to those disks. But passing individual drives should work too, but you don't want to, people have asked me, hey, what if I set up, if I have a hardware RAID, and then in the hardware RAID, I do, multiple drives, RAID of 0, and then pass each one of those through. Will that work? I mean, maybe, but that's a lot of abstraction, and who knows what's going to happen. And then your device IDs won't be right if something goes wrong, or there's so many things that can go wrong. So you just want to make sure that there's zero abstraction, zero hardware in between, to where abstraction, I should say. Hardware can be in between, but there's no abstraction between, the disk and the actual operating system. So, let's see. Who likes Elden Ring? Yeah, Salveris. Yeah, I keep seeing it everywhere. I keep hearing about it. I want to play it. I haven't played it yet. I mean, people are like, yeah, I'm like 70 hours in of Elden Ring, and I've only killed 3 bosses. There's so much to do. I'm like, I miss those days. I want to do that. I want to do that so much. And then I have a friend at work. She plays WoW, and I'm just like, oh, tell me more all the time. Because I'm like, I just live through other people playing games and having, just that being their passion and being able to spend time to do that. Because I truly miss it. It's one of the things about doing all tech all the time is like less games. But yeah, Elden Ring looks awesome. Looks awesome for sure. Lord Gardnome, New England, it's warm and rainy. All the snow is gone. Yeah, that's what I heard. But I heard you guys might have some storms coming for sure. Fair point, LOL. Yeah. Oh, you guys are talking about Elden Ring. Yeah, for sure. I'm so jealous. Dixie Wrecked, Techno Tim. I'm also in Minnesota. Been enjoying the weather for sure. Yeah, this weather is awesome. Awesome. It's gone from like 20s to 30s, 40s, and then it was like 50, 40, 50, 40, 30, and now it's 50, and then I think tomorrow is close to 60, and then kind of back, but I love it. I love 50s in general. As long as it's, sunny. If it's rainy and windy, 50s is kind of cool, but yeah, 50s in a dry day is I love it, because you can you can wear this out if you're being active, or you can put on a jacket or a hoodie, whatever you want. Dude, Crack Kitty, thank you so much. Cheered 110 bits. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Wow. Let's see. Zoid, any more harvester thoughts? Any limitations on features you've run into lately? Yeah, good question. All right. So this is like retrospective. I still have it. I still run it. I think it's awesome. They have lots. Hey, Xavier's 110. Thank you so much. Thank you. Man, you guys are going for that #1 spot. But let's see. So I like it. It's very early on. When I released that video, shortly before that, it reached general availability, which means it's good enough for production. Doesn't mean it's end game or has all the features you want or they want to implement. It just means it's good enough for production. I would love to see just more automation. And an API like kube control that I could do stuff to. And I don't know if they have this planned, but I would love to. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but I would love to do, things similar to what people are doing with Terraform or anything else, where you could actually have a manifest that declaratively stated what your virtual machine is, and have Rancher Harvester create that and deploy that. So I could give it a manifest and say kube control deploy this type of machine. Obviously it's a highly customized, Kubernetes that would need custom resource definitions, but I would love to be able to say that, to define my virtual machines in YAML, just say deploy. So anyways, and then, some people have had issues with bugs, which are known, which are going to be fixed. And then some people have just encountered, other issues. I mean, a lot of people commented on that video. A lot of people are excited about it, and I think they still are. So, that being said, I mean, obviously I'm still using Proxmox. I have a Harvester machine in my environment now that I can just test out and run Kubernetes on that with a test cluster if I want. I think it's awesome. I think there is a future here for it. I just, I need some more features. It needs to catch up. And now it's kind of competing with multiple things. But it's competing now with hypervisors, and then it's kind of competing with, a little bit with one of its other core products, Rancher itself. But they're kind of like cousins. They're cousin products, and they come together in one UI. So super interesting though. I do, storage itself is a little bit nebulous. I mean, you have Longhorn there, but it's not really clear, how you use it, how you take advantage of it. You can add another machine to there and have it replicated, have replicated storage. But like, what if I wanted to use that storage somewhere else and not have two versions or a version of Longhorn within my cluster that, that is now nested? Lots of things like that I'm sure they thought out. They just haven't implemented yet. So super cool, super cool. Xavius, 110 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the future of it. I want it to stick around because I want it to compete with other things. And even if it doesn't win, it still challenges, other products to do more and to think better and to, they're just, that's the great thing about competition in general, especially when it comes to products. PC Geek, that Tim has so many supportive viewers. Yeah, I totally agree. People show up, and so thank you so much, especially for me being so small. Yeah, having a active stream is fantastic. Cheat 95 installed Zabbix VPS at my primary hosting provider, and it attached my servers using free VLAN plan. Awesome, that is awesome. I need to look more into Zabbix. I hear it all the time. It's been around for a while. Let's see. I'm gonna look for. Here we go. Comments. Sorry. I'm looking for. These are responses. Man, this UI that I use is is kind of crazy. I need to get used to it, or it needs to change. Geeky Rand. Well, Tim is talking dirt at me with Ansible talk. I got you. I mean, I have some stuff coming for you shortly. I mean, maybe not for you, but for everybody in general, but definitely in there for sure. Drawing is good. Is Ansible still popular? I ask myself this question all the time too. When it has competing products that do similar things like Terraform or, that like Puppet, like anything else. I mean, obviously how you do these things is, and the API is different, but their end game is kind of the same. Is it still popular? Yeah, I don't know. It seems popular with people in home labs and self-hosting, but like, are large corporations using it? I'm sure there are some, but yeah, it's a good question. I don't have the answer to that question. My grandpa used to say too much. Yeah. Going back to what my dad. Yeah, my dad too. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. And it's like, dude, this is from the dollar store. Let's see. LOL. To put it mildly, drawing is good. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, and you guys, I'm sure that upsets some people, but it is a good question. Is it still a popular choice? It seems to be popular amongst home labbers because it's easy to set up. You got your local machine, but doing it at scale seems like it is where it might be. I don't want to say challenging, but having going back to what I was saying earlier, having your whole entire environment configured to just run these commands kind of stinks. I mean, and this is just me being frank. It's like, okay, I gotta have SSH installed, gotta have SSH keys, I gotta have Ansible installed, and then I can run all these commands from a terminal only. Not the greatest for being on the go, or however. Obviously I could SSH, I could VPN and SSH into something, but that's a lot. That's a lot. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. You tell me. Dr. Spray, hey everyone, how you doing? Let's see, Mathne, you are delaying him. Delaying him, yeah. You guys, yeah, you're not delaying me. It's all good. Let's see, I just want to see the present badge next to my name. Just kidding, I appreciate what you do. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You do have I think you do get a badge, for sure, for sure. All right, so many redemptions, man. You guys went on a light war, I like it. Let's see, Dr. CTL, Dr. Cuddle, Techno Tim, what is ISMM? I don't know what ISMM is. Ism. I don't know. Where did you hear it? Tell me. Doe 29. VMs should be destroyed and recreated easily. We should not have to care about VMs as a pet. Lol. No, I totally agree. I've been on trying to get more in the cattle mentality for a while. I mean, Kubernetes. I'm kind of working backwards. I think that's what a lot of people do. If they start using Kubernetes, they see that, cats versus cattle. No, pets versus cattle. They see that comparison or that metaphor in applications, and then they think, okay, and then they apply that next to, I think, virtual machines, which is, I think, awesome. I totally agree. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to be diligent enough to separate those things out, save your config, and everything that comes along with that. Hey, Spuff and Duff, thanks for the host. Appreciate it. Let's see. Salveris, we should start a pool. Well, Kitty, complete VLANs. Oh, no, I totally agree. Willie, he's start a pool. I think he will. He's been, he's taking his time. They're handcrafted VLANs. I'm teasing. D Panesso, thanks for the resub. Tier 1, 16 months. Hey, Techno Tim, how's it going? Thank you so much. D Panesso, thank you so much. Let's see. Techno Tim, what is the best source of info to get into ZFS? Dr. Cuddle. I'm going to call you Dr. Cuddle because it's funny. Because I hear some people say Coop Cuddle. Dr. Cuddle, I'm not sure. My experience with ZFS has been pretty minimal, even though I use it all day, every day. Hey, Dixie Rack, oh my gosh, dude. Dixie Rack gifted 10 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you guys so much, dude. Too much. Thank you so much. So, Shatty Pants, Ployd, Very Wind, Gorm, RC, John NS, Not a Snowman, KRD Shark, X Aldefax, Rumble Tumjun, and Mr. Hire. Enjoy your gifted sub from Dixie Wrecked, 10 subs. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. So Dr. Cuddle, I'm how do I explain this? So I'm a consumer of ZFS. I use it. I use it on Proxmox. I use it on TrueNAS, and I have back when it was FreeNAS, and I even use it on an Ubuntu machine just for some backups. It's kind of just like a temporary local backup thing. I'm definitely not an expert in ZFS. I know that Tom Lawrence knows all about ZFS. He's done tons of videos on it. I would, if you're doing video stuff, I would say check out, Tom Lawrence. You probably know who he is, Lawrence Systems. Good resource for ZFS. Other than that, I would just say the web. I don't do a ton outside of consuming it through other products. So I wish I knew a little bit more. Like, I understand high level how it works, but I'm definitely not the person to teach it at that low of a level. Like, this is what it is, this is what it does. I know why it exists and what problem it's trying to solve, but I would say go those two routes. Math needs Salvers, then the world will go under. Let's see. Geeky Rant. Good call. Point him to the storage channel. Good call, because lots of people there have a deeper understanding of ZFS than me. Not the best person to explain it to you. Again, understand why it exists, what problem it's trying to solve. But I would definitely have to Google a lot of stuff before I felt, educated enough to even comment on probably the depth you want to know. Geeky Rant, we have some awesome folks in there. I totally agree. Let's see. Home Lab new. Oh, voice chat after the stream. I like this. All right. Salveri's bored Saturday afternoon. I hear you. I need to. I said this last time, but I got to put a light up. I hear you. I've been kicking that can down the road for a while, but I think today after the stream is what I have to do. Let's see. Home Lab new. I'll join after the stream since I'm having dinner. All right. Let's see. Tweerid. That one's hard for me to be able to say. I finally have been able to be on Twitch when you're live. Hey, thank you so much. Love your channel. I started my home lab because of you. Oh man, anytime anyone says like I did this because of you, my canned response is either I'm sorry or thank you, because like it's either sending you down this rabbit hole you didn't know exists. Maybe you did, or maybe you've learned something along the way. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Home Lab new, same. You might have guessed that though through your username. Yeah, I remember when I saw your username for the first time. I was like, is it related to like the Home Lab subreddit? Like, and then I realized, well, I won't. I'll keep it a mystery for everyone else who doesn't know you. Martin, 21. Hey. Thank you, Crack Kitty, dude. Thank you so much. 107 bits. So random. 107 bits. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Crack Kitty. How's it going, man? And then Gorman. Oh, Gormanator. That's what I'm going with. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it, dude. Xavius. 109 bits. Thank you so much, Xavius. Thank you guys, man. You guys are fighting for that number one spot. Xavius, 420 bits. Oh man, Crack Kitty, you're only 3 off, but you can't get to 420. Xavius is in the lead, but thank you so much, man. You guys are going crazy today. Let's see. I'm gonna look for comments because there's a lot of discussion or back and forth. Let's see. Crack Kitty, I'm at 100% zero freeze in my K3S. I can show you how. All right. I like it. Flaming Pink Pony. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Whole lot is up right now. It's pretty awesome. Alexa Prism, if you don't spin up K3S, it can't freeze up. That is true. That's my approach. That is true. Salvarius, dude, 200 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh my gosh, you guys are fighting for the number one spot. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. I totally agree. Might have something soon that can help with the complexity of that. We'll see. It's me writing a lot of code and config to make things a little bit easier. We'll see if I can get it out. Let's see. Flaming Pink Pony. I was only using a Raspberry Pi. Since then, started watching your channel. I upgraded my home lab with the X86. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I hear you. Dude, Salvarius. 300 bits. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Xavius D, I think I called it out. Thank you for the bits too. Salvarius, dude, 300. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Flaming Pink Pony, I totally agree. I started down that path. I went desktop and then I went ultra low. I went Atom for a while and I tried to make Atom work. Like I was like, this is the future, low power compute, obviously before Pis. And that worked out until I needed to do more stuff. And then I got back into servers and then I kind of swung back towards Pis and back to servers. And I just keep going back and forth. I want the best of both worlds. And I've always had Intel NUC that's running hypervisor for years and years because it's pretty capable for a couple of machines. Xavius, 249. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. Cheat 95. Zabbix working well for me. Learning curve is just very high because the template system is different from what I'm used to with PRTG. Yeah, I haven't used it at all. I need to learn more about it. Something that well, I mean, years and years ago, I thought about spinning it up for monitoring, but then I don't remember what I did. Home Lab New. This week I learned about Kate's cluster support nodes that have different container runtimes. Oh, yeah, that sounds fun. So you're saying like, some of your nodes are running Docker as their container runtime, and some of your nodes are running Containerd or you name it. Yeah, now is that time. I think now is that time. Yeah, this is the doomsday that everyone was worried about. Yeah, good call. A while ago, Kubernetes said, "Hey, we're no longer supporting Docker," and everyone was like, "What is going on?" Well, we're kind of here now because they said they're going to be deprecating 1.21, and 1.21 is now becoming pretty mainstream. So it's 1.22. But in clouds, 1.21 is been rolling out. So the world hasn't stopped working and things are fine. It's actually a pretty easy switch. If you're in the cloud and you run, machines or nodes that have a specific version of Kubernetes, they'll usually swap out the runtime for you, and then you just have to look through all your stuff. Am I using Docker commands anywhere or elevating privileges anywhere? And most likely you're going to say no, and then you're like, okay, it's the same exact thing as it was yesterday. So it's kind of a no op, or I don't know how to describe it. Just wasn't as monumental as people thought it was going to be a while ago. I'm Gramify. I'm new here. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Trevor, sup, Tim? How's it going, Trevor? Good to see you. I Gramify. Have any knowledge regarding GitOps? I do. What do you want to know? I do. I understand how it works. It's basically GitOps. It's basically automation or CI/CD against some infrastructure for the most part. I mean, GitOps is kind of a bigger topic than just infrastructure. I mean, some people are starting to describe code deployments as GitOps as well, because it's the same idea. I've called it CI/CD for a while. GitOps sounds more buzzword friendly. But yeah, I've done it for a while. The only thing I'm not as sharp on is real infrastructure deployments using GitOps, which is super awesome and mind-boggling. I mean, that's endgame. That's endgame. Once you've automated ways to spin it up and you tear it back down, then you automate it enough to get your GitOps in place to then deploy the rest of your stuff. So yeah, super awesome. I've been doing, CI/CD stuff with code for a long time, and Kubernetes stuff, long time, years. But infrastructure stuff is a little bit different. It kind of blows my mind to be able to do infrastructure. And when I mean infrastructure, I mean, deploy some kind of manifest somewhere to say spin up this whole entire environment and not just the code or containers that run on it. So yeah, super interesting stuff for sure. Coming soon. Matt Minister, Techno Tim, is there a way to export my deployments on Rancher without individual IDs and stuff? Kinda. So if you look at the YAML, so on Rancher, you can inspect and look at the YAML and you can export it that way. It's going to be a lot of their YAML, a lot of their YAML with a lot of their labels. And so early on when I started doing stuff in Rancher, I just switched over to kube control, manifest or Kubernetes standard deployments and manifests that were just standard things I would do in Kubernetes anyways. And so I don't know of an easy way. I know when I did migrate from doing strictly Rancher stuff to Kubernetes, I used the YAML that Rancher would generate for you, strip that all down, and created a Kubernetes deployment out of that. And you might have some luck there. No easy way. I would just say in the future, just go the Kubernetes route and use, for the most part, use Rancher as read-only or as provisioning new clusters or bouncing pods or ways to exec in, operational type stuff. But when it comes to deployments, I would say, try not to use their tool. Try to learn Kubernetes manifests so you can deploy deployments, storage, secrets, services, ingress, what we talked about earlier, all that stuff through kube control. Because then you'll just be you'll be agnostic of the UI that's showing you stuff. You'll be agnostic too. If you ever go to the cloud, you go to AWS or GCS, Google Cloud or Azure, you won't have to worry about their UI. You know, it's more of a dashboard slash some operational type stuff. But your changes that you need to make are still initiated through kube control, and you're like, I don't know, show me the UI you want. I know how to deploy it. So worth the time to invest in that if you're gonna stick with Kubernetes for a while. Let's see. Home Lab New, Techno Tim, would you ever purchase a powerful ARM-based server? Hey, Crack Kitty, dude, thank you so much. 344 bits. That was probably a lot of pressing of the ones. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. It looks like, real quick, Brian Estrada and Slayer Darth, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I got to check something real quick. I'm actually on call right now for support, and I saw something go off. So let me, bear with me for 30 seconds. So let me see. Is the world on fire or just smoldering? Oh, just smoldering. Okay, the stream can continue. I have a day job, and it's my rotation to be on support for stuff. So I had to check when I saw that alert go off, because again, is the world on fire or just smoldering? It's just smoldering right now, so the stream shall go on. Let's see. Techno Tim, they don't really recommend let me get this right. They don't really recommend any way more than the other. My starting port for your guide was traffic 2, and most of it is about ingress, but I didn't install it. So happy jumping in here first. So back to the drawing board and checking ingress route. Yeah, I would look at it, and I would look, I think they're trying to be bipartisan or agnostic and basically saying like, hey, you can use our product either way. You know, I don't think they're going to say, oh, you should totally use ingress, like, because that would basically talk you out of ever using that piece of their product, and then you would question why they ever had it there. I think, from a product standpoint, they're like, we have options. You can use it as ingress, or you can use it as an ingress controller. Use what works best for you, is what they're going to say. It's what anyone building any product that had two features that seem similar would say, and so I think you're going to have to decide that. If you do, you can kind of read between the lines when you read about their description on ingress route. They're kind of like, many of our customers have asked for this, and so we've decided to implement it. And obviously that was probably a showstopper for a lot of people, where they said like, hey, I need ingress route. If you don't have ingress route, I'm not going to use it. Anyways, maybe that's me reading between the lines. But they have options, both work. But I went to ingress route as soon as it's available, because I like keeping my routes closer to the services that I'm deploying. I like to be able to have a deployment, my service, and an ingress route, all three together in controlled and Git. So when I deploy them, GitOps, when I deploy those manifests, Kubernetes will apply all three if it needs. So yeah, glitch chat. All right, let's see. That was probably an emote. Or something truly spooky was one of the RISC-V architectures. Oh, so going back to your question, would I ever purchase a powerful ARM-based server? Maybe. Yeah, maybe, this comes up every now and then in my head, and I look to see what's available, and I just don't know, like, I just don't know enough about them. And if there's even like ones that are like consumer friendly that aren't super old, I mean, I don't know. If it's more powerful, uses less power, and I can still run all my workloads, heck yeah, I'm down for that. But that's kind of tough, because I run hypervisors, like I have bare metal machines, and then I run hypervisors on top of that. And so my hypervisors, are all x86. It's Proxmox, and so I don't think it supports ARM. It could in the future, and if it did, then that might be an option. But that one's tough. I would love to for fun to play, but that's my Raspberry Pis. All the Raspberry Pis I have everywhere. So it sounds interesting for sure. Homeland knew he kind of wanted to do with NVIDIA things. Yeah, that too. And then you got hardware support, not only the software support, but then, hardware support too. So it is definitely interesting. Hello. Let's see. Xavius. I'm the opposite. I have all the stack and no rack. I see instance Discord channel, and he moved my picks, so he calls it Xavius Indestructible Table. Yeah, that is true. No rack yet. It's totally okay if you don't have rack. It's totally okay if you don't have rack. Oh, my puppy's getting a little wild underneath me. I thought I was like, ooh, what's going on? Drawing is good. Is the real life still putting Ansible on top of the skills this year's. Terraform is getting popular in cloud environment. Yeah, totally valid. Totally valid. I totally agree. And after Terraform, it'll be something else. I totally agree. But there's a huge following with both, and I think each is an evolution too. I definitely think that Terraform is an evolution past Ansible. It doesn't mean it's better, but it's evolved. I feel like it's evolved for sure. But yeah, it's a great question. Great question. Zoid, +1 for AWX. I just started using it at home myself, and I think a lot of people could benefit. Yeah, it's been in my backlog for a while, and that's where I think where it's like, okay, now like abstract the whole entire environment from me. Like I don't want SSH. I don't want my keys. I don't want to only be on this machine to run Ansible commands. Ansible in the cloud, I think, is where it would be super beneficial. And I'm not saying I would just click buttons all the time. No way. I still love my terminal. I would run the stuff when I was here. But if I needed to do something somewhere, I was on vacation. Say, for instance, I need to provision machines. Never happens. Or I need to run updates or just want to do it for fun. It would be sweet to have AWX there in place. For sure. Let's see. Drawing is good. Ansible, Terraform, perform different things. I totally agree. Terraform really helps you build up infrastructure. It doesn't mean that Ansible can't, because really Ansible is, it's running playbooks, which could be scripts too. I mean, I was just talking about this in Discord earlier. We were looking at Packer, Terraform, and Ansible, and I look at all of their scripts to do things for Proxmox, and at the end of the day, they're just running QN commands. So I'm like, I could write that whole entire script in Bash or Shell. If you're just going to run QN commands, I could do the same thing without any of those products or complexities. Obviously, there's more built in to do checking, is it alive, health checks, and building in if checks all over the place to make sure, to assert that the thing that you just did work. But yeah, I mean, it's they do perform different operations, different roles, but it's really blending what you can and can't do with those. What you can do, I should say. What you can't do is it's unlimited, because at the end of the day, I think on most of those tools, you can just drop down and run a shell script. And if you can run a shell script, you can do almost anything. So yeah, for sure. Let's see. There's some overlap, but not enough to compare them directly. Yeah, totally agree. Let's see. iGramify, could you recommend a mini PC or server rack with 64 gigs of RAM, which is not too expensive and does not sound like a plane? A lot of requirements there. I mean, if you really want a mini PC, if you really want a mini PC, 64 gigs of RAM, that's pretty eco-friendly and not loud. It's either going to be build your own custom that's big enough that has the fans, or it's going to be something like an Intel NUC. That's what I have back there. I have a video where I basically built an Intel NUC with Proxmox on it, and it runs fantastic. It's one of my 3 Kubernetes nodes back there. And it runs fantastic. Is it cheap? No, but you're paying, basically for that form factor, as well as the technology inside to keep it pretty eco-friendly. But I got a long list of stuff at Kitco. You should check it out if you just want to browse. kit.co/technotim, or if you use !gear, you'll see all the stuff that I recommend, or all the stuff I use in all the videos, pretty much. Let's see, Dr. D. No, this is D155. I know this is least speed. Dishore. I don't know. I want a VM of network intrusion. I want a VM of network intrusion detection on my Pioxmon. Pioxmon. I don't know. Is that Proxmox? I assume. And did you talk about your network security webcam system setup on YouTube? You want network intrusion detection somewhere, I assume virtualized. Any recommendations? I don't know what Pioxmon is. This is tough. I've talked about IDS and IPS quite a few times. I mean, if you're using pfSense, they have IDS and IPS. If you're using a UDM Pro like I do, there's IDS and IPS built in. If you're not using either of those, you could do stuff like fail to ban, or you could, use something like CrowdSec. I've talked about all of those things before, where UDM, pfSense, is going to protect you on the edge, and so will fail to ban if you have it on the edge. Fail to ban and CrowdSec can also protect internally on your network on those individual devices if you want. So lots of options there. Yeah, lots of options. I would look into if you want to roll your own or self-host your own thing without buying something, you're going to look at fail to ban or CrowdSec, or you're going to look at PFSense, but that's going to have you redo a lot of your networking if you're not using PFSense already. I'd say that Ansible and Terraform are two entirely different tools that target different types of resources. I totally agree, but people use them a lot interchangeably, for sure. Let's see. Home Lab New, one interesting tool that's a bit like Ansible is Packer. Yeah, we just talked about that. It's a tool for building EC2 AIMs in a reproducible way. Heck yeah, Packer. Another one by HashiCorp. I like seeing HashiCorp, for sure. Let's see. Techno Tim, if you had heard about Reddit/HomeLab sales, stay away. You will spend all your monies. I got 15 3 terabyte SAS hard drives the other day for $5 per terabyte. LOL. Getting 15 more drives in 2 weeks. Yeah, I hear you. It's easy for me to get distracted by all that stuff and start to collect and build stuff. I've said like, I'm pretty good on hardware, and I have to tell myself that all the time. Like, I'm pretty good on hardware right now. Like but then I go downstairs and I look at my rack and I see 3U of free space. I'm like, what's gonna go there? Something needs to go in that hole. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. All right, guys. It is close to that time. I'm gonna look for direct mentions for sure. And then we've got to I gotta wrap up soon, for sure. Let's see. Techno 10 for gas usage. Dutch smart meters measures natural gas usage. They also have default common protocol called DSMR, which makes communication to it a little bit easier. That's awesome. We need stuff like that. Evelise. I have a 42U rack, but always have built my servers in tower cases with commodity hardware. 100% agree. Rack server hardware. I always thought it to be too expensive, requiring custom parts for repair, upgrade, convenience to work on. But I've just got my first rack mount server, a 1U Supermicro 815 at the price too good to refuse. All right, so going back on your statement. But it came with inner rails. Rail kits seem to be really expensive. There does not seem to be a standard for rack rails and are specific to server. Any advice? So Evolese. So awesome. Yeah, I often recommend turning a PC into a server. You can do it very easily. I have many times, and I have one in my rack that is just that. And then I too have Supermicro servers. They're pretty awesome. Mine did come with rails. If yours didn't, I would get generic shelf rack rails. Don't buy, unless you can find them for a decent price. Because then when you sell that server, if you ever do, you could sell it with the rails too. If you can find them for a cheap price on eBay or anywhere else, yeah, go for it. If not, and you just want generic rails, I have ones that I always get on Amazon every time I go back there and to tell someone hey, this is what I bought. It's like, you purchased this 5 times. If you go out to my kit site, you'll see them, but they're just generic like shelf rack rails. You put anything in there, there's nothing stopping you from pulling it out all the way and it falling. But most of the time, when you pull a server out, you can kind of tell where the end is. Well, maybe, unless there's something on top of it, but yeah, check it out. Just generic rails. They're not cheap either. It's going to be like $30 ish, depending on where you are, for just a piece of metal, that holds it in place. But it's a lot cheaper, I've found, than the alternative, which is buying specific rails for a server. The nice part about it is that you don't need it for the next one. If you go down that path, you'll buy custom rails for every server that doesn't have rails, and then you end up in the same situation, just buying lots of custom rails. So I went generic on the ones that didn't have it, for sure. Let's see. No Joker. Should I put my VMs to sleep? If I use a daily driver I want to put in sleep mode, what's the best way to do that? Ooh, I would probably schedule something to shut it down and schedule something to start it up. That's probably what I would do. You can do it in a couple ways. How would I do this? I've thought about this many times. So one way you could do it is just have a cron script that shuts yourself down every day. And then in the BIOS, if it supports it, if it has an alarm, it will wait. You can set it to wake itself up at a certain time. That's kind of the low barrier to entry, the easy way to do it. Cron tab, shut down daily at a certain time, or shut it down yourself, and then an alarm in the BIOS to say, wake yourself up. The other way that I would probably do it is I would probably schedule it from somewhere else, somewhere else you can run a script if it's a Pi or some other super low power device or some machine that's on all the time. And I would script it. I would script it to tell it to shut down. And then on the wake up, I would use PoE or power over. Use the magic packet to do a wake on LAN to wake that machine up. And I've done that plenty of times. And that's pretty straightforward as long as you find the right package to send the wake on LAN packet to it. And then if you have a Pi Zero or a Raspberry Pi that's on all the time, that could be part of its duties. Is just doing that, shutting down those machines, either with Ansible or whatever, shell script into it and shut it down, and then sending a wake on LAN packet to wake that machine up at a certain period of time. I mean, that's a little bit higher than the easy low barrier to entry version of doing it. Okay, I'm going to look for mentions because I do need to wrap it up, and it's so hard to see mentions on here, so I do apologize if I don't see it. Techno Tim, we had a nice voice chat going yesterday. We were talking about all kinds of stuff. Wish more people would do voice in our Discord. Yeah, it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. There were times when 8 or 9 people would be in there. And I was like, this is awesome. I jumped in once or twice. It was awesome. Had all kinds of audio issues. You'd think I'd have audio figured out. But for Discord, it's a little bit different. Oh, my dog's freaking out. He's like, get me out of here. But yeah, I totally agree. And I also think that it takes one person to jump into voice for other people to jump in too. So sometimes you just got to be that first person. Maybe I'll start hanging out in voice chat more. And then as I'm working on stuff, people can pop in and pop out. But yeah, I totally agree. I was impressed over the last couple of months just seeing lots of people in there having conversations because I totally agree. It's great to have conversations in there. Okay, gonna look. Dixie wrecked my physical drives and my high performance dual Xeon server in a separate cases. Hard drives in a JBOD. Should I run a cable from my just a bunch of disks to my Xeon case or just use the networking to attach the two? Depends on what they're being used for. So it sounds like you're only housing those drives in one machine because that's where they can fit. I mean, personally, I wouldn't string a cable between the two. I mean, that cable that I string between the two is going to be a network cable, and I do it over the network. If that's not fast enough for you, I mean, you could totally do what you're asking about. But I would do it over the network. Do it over the network till it doesn't work. And then it's less complicated, less messy, and an excuse to upgrade your network at some point to 10 gig when it's too slow. But personally, that's what I would do. I would use the network until it doesn't work anymore. Then I would find alternate routes. And maybe you're pre-optimizing, and that's okay, and that that the performance of your gigabit Ethernet or whatever your Ethernet speed is not going to be enough. But yeah. Let's see. All right, I'm looking for mentions, and I apologize if I skip, but this is way hard to find mentions in here. So I just want to make sure I'm not skipping over anyone. And if I do, I apologize, and you can always ping me in Twitter or in Twitch too. Curious to know, where did you get all your experience professionally? Of course, information you only want to share, but where did you go to college? Oh, yeah. And your opinion and what has been the most beneficial in advancing your knowledge? You know what? I'll end on this one because we're pretty close. I've said it in a couple of streams before. I'm pretty open about stuff. Where did I get all my knowledge? Man, how much time you got? Let me grab a drink because I feel like this is gonna take a second. And also my throat is like killing me. I'm just like yelling for 45 minutes. Doesn't sound like I'm yelling to you, but if you're in my house, it's pretty loud. Because these microphones take a lot of audio to sound okay. Here we go. Where did I get all my experience professionally? Where did I even start? So yeah, I went to college. I minored in computer applications, but I majored in Japanese. This is like an interview. I majored in Japanese, so I went after language. I almost became a math major in my freshman year in college. My one of my math teachers said she would mentor me if I decided to, but I was pursuing Japanese. After college, I got a tech support job. After college, I kind of fell back on my minor in computer applications, not computer science, computer applications. But I fell back on that, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I worked tech support, and for a long time, I learned all about infrastructure, how to build machines, how to image machines, how to pixie boot machines, how to build images. Then I got into Windows administration. Then I did a little bit of network administration. Then I got into system administration. All through that organization, I was just eating up all of this knowledge. Racking servers, like what I was talking about earlier. I was in tech support, and tech support wasn't supposed to rack servers, but I told the server guys, like, hey, you guys are in a different building. I'll rack these for you. No problem. I'll get them on the network. I'll set the VLANs on all the switches. Then all you got to do is remote into them. And they were just kind of like, okay, that sounds awesome. So I was always that guy, just like, hey, that Tim guy, he likes to rack servers. Next time we have servers, ask him. And so I was like, this is fantastic. And then it all got crazy one day when I asked my manager if I could take an old compact machine home. We had these old compact machines. We were replacing them with IBMs or Lenovo's, and I knew they were going to go in the trash. Back then, I think they went in the real trash. They weren't recycled properly. I'm not going to say anything. Maybe they were. I won't speculate. But I asked my manager if I could take one of these compact machines home. I took it home, and it was all over from there. That was my first home lab machine. Was this old compact machine that I ended up installing Windows on. I installed Linux on. I learned about Linux. I learned about Windows. I built Active Directory at home. I got 2 machines. Then that's when I started doing Active Directory, learned how to set up a file share, learned how to network stuff. I remember my brother and I, we had computers in each of our rooms. One was one that I built for him. And I had to figure out networking. I mean, this was when I was younger before the job. But I had no idea how to network anything. This is like Windows 98 trying to play video games. I think we were playing NBA Live 95, and we had a hub, and we plugged them together, and I ended up getting it working. Anyways, I almost shed a tear because I'm like, wow, I can see like network packets on this hub actually working, and we were playing. Anyways, long story short, most of it has been self-taught. I wanted to learn about something. I wanted to get into a certain area, and I went after it. I'm a software engineer now. Didn't have computer science. I don't have a computer science background. But the way that I got in was I wanted to build an application. I wanted to build an application to let me know when there's an aurora or a northern lights or southern lights if you're in the southern hemisphere. And I wanted to know about that. So I started writing the application. Then I had to learn not all of my logic can be client side. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to build a service. How do I build a service? And I started building a service that I self-hosted on my own machines that were running at home. And then someone that I worked at, someone that was hiring at the place I worked at knew what I liked and what I was passionate about, and knew that I was interested in becoming a software engineer. And he was like, yeah, that'd be great. Let's do this. And so it's just a combination of me hunting this stuff down, being super interested and being super nerdy and like geeking out every night and weekend on technology. And then a lot of opportunities that opened themselves up to me when I went after that. Anyways, it's a lot. I mean, I could talk all day about me. That's kind of boring. But yeah, I mean, nothing. I mean, everything I've done pretty much has been self-taught. I geeked out on stuff and I figured it out. It's kind of what I'm still doing today. I wanted to learn about Cloud Init. I geeked out on it. I wanted to learn about Ansible. I geeked out on it. Same with Proxmox. I geeked out on it. TrueNAS, you name it. Kubernetes, who runs Kubernetes at home? I mean, some people do now, but I've been running Kubernetes at home, I want to say for like 4 or 5 years. I've been running Kubernetes at home. And so, but it's had, different evolutions. It was single node. It was all these different things. But almost 4 years, I think almost 5. I think this year is the 5th year of me doing containerization with Kubernetes at home. And before that was Docker. So it's just always me just geeking out on stuff. So anyways, like I did go to college. I do have a degree, but it's not in computer science. The rest is just my geekiness coming out. So anyways, that was a long chat about just me. So, anyways, I hate talking about myself that much, but yeah, you asked. So, anyways, I do have to wrap it up. Let's see. Yeah, that was the last one because I said that was the last one, and then I went on for like 10 minutes. Hey guys, thank you so much. Real quick, Vladimir of VLDM Mister. I'm going with Vladimir 44. Othu Thug Muffin. Drake Star Dragon. Nobi Ryu. Minister Fox McCloud. Thank you guys so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, and Minister, that was a sub. Thank you so much for subscribing. Sorry I missed that as I was rambling about like my background. I appreciate it. Man, thank you guys so much for showing up, for tuning in on the Saturday. Thanks for the bits, follows, subs, resubs, gifted subs. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, I encourage you to join our Discord. We have a Discord. I think we're up to 6,000-ish people, somewhere in there, 5, 6. I haven't run stats lately, so I apologize. But yeah, there's a link to join our Discord. You totally should. A lot of the people you're seeing in here talking are there. A lot of people are going to be in voice chat afterwards. I might hop in later. I do have to hang a light tonight, so if I hop into voice chat, make sure I said that the light is hung already. Hold me to it. Keep me honest. Have a great Saturday. Have a great rest of the week. I will be here next Saturday, probably for the same amount of time, because every time I say I'm going to end it a little bit early, it goes on kind of long. And I'll have something out for you very shortly. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much again. Have a great rest of the week and take care, folks. Be good to each other. Take care.